Let's be honest for a second. When they announced Steel Ball Run was finally getting an anime, the entire JoJo fandom collectively held its breath. And now, just from excitement, but from sheer, unfiltered fear, we have all been burned before. The Berserk 2016 incident is still a fresh, 3D rendered scar on the anime community's psyche. A manga famous for hyper detailed art, centered almost entirely around animating horses, an animator's literal nightmare. Yeah, the math was not looking great, and then March 19, 2026 happened. The first episode dropped, and the anxiety just evaporated. It's currently sitting at a breathtaking 9.7 on IMDb. The internet isn't just calling it a great JoJo episode. They are saying if this quality keeps up, we're not just talking about the best JoJo part, we are talking about one of the greatest anime seasons of all time. So, how did David Production pull it off? What makes Steel Ball Run looks like it's from 5 years in the future compared to Stone Ocean? We're going to break down the exact reasons. Let's get into it. First, you can't have a visual masterpiece without a master. With David Production back at the helm, the question wasn't just who would direct it, but how many of the greats they could bring back. They didn't just bring one, they brought the Avengers. They tapped Hidaya Takeshi and Yushiro Kimura, the co-directors who gave Golden Wind its razor-sharp runway model flair. But here's the kicker, they also put Toshiyuki Kato, the series director of the criminally stylish Stone Ocean, in charge of handling the grand narrative's flow. Think of it as Takashi and Kimura being the cinematographers, making every shot a painting, while Kato is the writer, making sure you feel every twist of the 4,000-mile race. To then wrap this all in the classic JoJo style, they brought back character designer Daisuke Sumagari and the legendary composer Yogo Kano. This isn't just a production team, it's a JoJo Leon of talent, all operating at the peak of their powers. But even a dream team needs a budget to dream big, which brings us to our next point. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the money printing giant. For the first time, a mainline JoJo anime is a full-blown Netflix Globe exclusive. Now, we all have a love-hate relationship with Netflix, but one thing they are really good at is writing a check. This isn't just a licensing deal, it's a full production partnership. The budget boost is visible in every single frame. The report says it's a budget visibly concentrated on these effects, justifying every cent spent. Remember Stone Ocean? A fantastic part, but you could sometimes see the budget is straining. The stillness of mid-shot characters talking, the resilience on simple speed lines, it had charm. But it was a compromise. Steel Ball Run looks like a show that doesn't know the meaning of the word compromise. The color palette pops with a cinematic richness, and the effects work is on another level. There is no visual holding back anymore. The Netflix cash infusion means David Production could finally think bigger, which was a necessity, because their next challenge was Broadline Impossible. Okay, this is the core reason Steel Ball Run looks so groundbreaking. Director Toshiyuki Kato admitted that when he first read the manga, he thought animating it was, and I quote, an impossibility. Think about it. This isn't just a fight scene. This is a 4,000-mile cross-continental horse race. We are talking about hundreds of horses of different breeds, galloping across sweeping American landscapes. Every panel in the manga is a lesson in dynamic anatomy. To bring this to life, the team didn't just work harder, they worked smarter, spending years of pre-production and creating a full 20-scene internal prototype just to figure out how a horse should run in the JoJo universe. What they landed on the revolutionary hybrid 2D or 3D pipeline. The studio uses 3D models not as a shortcut but as a foundation for spatial consistency, especially in those breathtaking wide shots of the American West. But the moment a steel ball impacts a rider or Johnny's horse slow dancer kicks up dust, the animation aggressively switches to fluid, hand-drawn Sakuga. It's the polar opposite of the Berserk 2016 disaster. It's so seamless. One reviewer noted the blend of 2D character art and 3D models for the horses creates a fluidity that has never been seen in the JoJo franchises before. It's like they studied what made Land of the Lustrous great, but injected it with testosterone and stunt power. But technology is nothing without a vision, and the visual language of JoJo itself has fundamentally evolved. Steel Ball Run marks the series' official shift from Shonen Jump to Alta Jump, a seinen magazine for an older audience. This isn't just a publishing trivia fact, you can see it. Araki's art famously transformed over the decades, moving away from the impossibly muscular Feast of the North Star skews physique of the 80s to a more lean, high fashion and realistic art style. The anime adaptation of Steel Ball Run isn't just adapting the story, it's adapting the specific moment of Araki's artistic peak. Look at Johnny Joestar. The character design, Sumigari redesigned him with a touching humanity compared to even early SBR manga panels. There's a vulnerability in his expressions that past JoJo leaked, and the color design, oh, the colors. The palette is inspired by the dusty golden hour beauty of the American West, a far cry from the gothic horror of Phantom Blood or the neon funk of Golden Wind. It doesn't just look prettier, it's look more mature. This is the visual glow up that comes when a creator and a studio grow up at the same time. Let's do a quick litmus test. Stone Ocean had moments of artistic brilliance. Joylin String work was undeniably creative, but to cope with a brutal schedule, it often relied on simple camera pans, static character models, and let's be honest, some truly questionable 3D background characters. It was an anime working hard to overcome its limitations. Now cue Steel Ball Run. The first episode is a 47-minute masterpiece in show don't tell. When Gyuro throws his steel ball, the screen wraps with a hypnotic green-hued spin that feels physically disorienting. A technique director Kimura mentioned was perfected using advanced CGI techniques they learned from previous project. It's not just an attack animation, it's an event. This isn't just more frames, it's a complete directional philosophy shift. The pacing is confident, letting the openings raise chaos, build with sweeping, cinematic tracking shots that Stone Ocean could only dream of. One reviewer perfectly captured it. From the incredible opening to the final frame, the quality never drops. Steel Ball Run isn't just better looking than Stone Ocean, it makes Stone Ocean looks like a dress rehearsal. There is one last secret to why Steel Ball Runs feel so good to watch, and it's something you feel, not see. It's the sound. Great animation is 50% visual and 50% audio. And sound director Yoshikazu Iwanami is flexing every muscle here. Listen to the sound of the steel balls spinning. It's a deep, magnetic, almost industrial hum that makes the supernatural feel brutally real. The horses galloping, Sandman running, gyro steel balls, and the voice acting sounded really good. Specifically, one reviewer noted, this visceral audio design tricks your brain into believing the weight and physique of what you are seeing, creating a perfect symbiosis between the eye and the ear. And don't forget the score. Yogo Kano, the genius behind Golden Wind's second Vento d'Oro, has crafted a soundtrack that replaced the usual funk and synth pop with a sweeping jazz and country blend. It's a perfect acoustic backdrop for the American frontier. When the chaotic opening race sequence is set to this rich, confident audio landscape, the animation is elevated from a mere visual to a full body experience. It's the final secret ingredient that makes you feel like you are not just watching a race, you are in it. So why does Steel Ball Run look so much better than every other JoJo part? It's not one thing, it's a perfect storm. It's a team of veteran directors handpicked for their strengths, backed by a Netflix budget that lets them breathe, deploying a revolutionary 2D or 3D hybrid pipeline to solve an impossible animation problem, all while adapting a creator's work at the exact moment his art reaches its zenith. They took a story everyone thought was unadaptable, looked the impossible in the eye, and said, Yare yare dawa. If the rest of the season maintains even 80% of this quality, we aren't just looking at the best JoJo part, we are witnessing anime history being made. If you enjoy this breakdown, punch that like button with the force of a steel ball, subscribe for more deep dives, and let me know in the comments what was the single most stunning shot in episode 1 for you. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the race for animation quality, Steel Ball Run just left the entire competition in the dust.